Hey, what's going on, solarpreneurs? Today we're going to be jamming on how you can master the one thing that you can never get back, and that is your time. So if you feel like you're struggling in solar, if you feel like you're constantly overwhelmed, then this podcast is for you. Welcome to the show. My name's Taylor Armstrong. We're here to help you close more deals, generate more leads and referrals, and have a much better time in the solar industry. And in this case, master your time. This is one of my favorite topics. You've heard me mention it. You've heard me share some things about it before in the podcast, but we're doing a special training for our team tomorrow and just thought, hey, what a good time to revisit and dive a little deeper on a few different aspects of this topic that is so important. So before we jump in, please, if you are not already, go leave us a review on Apple, iTunes, Spotify. Go leave us a comment on YouTube, wherever you listen to it. This is how we grow the show. Now, hope you're enjoying. We've had some incredible guests on lately. So please let them know that you heard their podcast. These guys, they spend a lot of their time and they're high producers. So it's been an honor to have some pretty phenomenal guests on lately. So let's get into the topic, this time thing. It's something that's, I think it's so important because as you get further along the solar journey, there's probably going to be a point where, you know, maybe you got other things going on. If you're like me, I got 3 kids, I'm married, and it's something I'm thinking about all the time. How can I have the time to focus on these different aspects of solar? Right. And we talk about in our organization, we want to master all aspects of life, faith, family, fitness, finance, fun. You want to have it all. And the only way to do that, I believe, is by becoming a better steward of your time. So I'm going to go through a few different just ways that you can better organize, better manage your time. And hopefully it's things that maybe you haven't thought about that you can go and apply today. Okay, so the first one, I think this is crucial. You need to have a planning session. You need to do at a minimum weekly planning. This is something that's changed the game for me. It's just like so many times we're letting things just pile on top of each other. We're being reactive. If any of you have read the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, great book. Definitely recommend it. But he talks about the rock. I'm not sure what he calls it. Rock analogy, maybe. You need to go back and read exactly how he describes it. But in the book, he has a jar full of rocks, right? And he has 2 different examples he gives. One is there's a bunch of small rocks piled on top of each other. And then you try to fit more between it, but you put all the pebbles in first so nothing fits in between the cracks of the rocks. And the second example he gives, he puts in the big rocks first, and then he fills the rest with the tiny rocks or with the sand, and then he's able to maximize everything. And so the principle from that is, are we focusing on our big rocks? Are we focusing on the most important things and filling the things around them? If we're just being reactive, if we're letting our customers control and demand our time whenever they want, then it's probably not a big rock. Right? So I want you to ask yourself, how selective are you with your time? Are you someone when you're with the family, you're at the gym, you get a call from a customer? Are you dropping everything to answer it? That's you. I mean, maybe I get it. Customers are important, but do you ever stop to think, hey, maybe this is something that could wait, right? Maybe I can send a text to the customer, say, hey, I'll call you back. I'm in a meeting and schedule for a different time. Hey, I know for me, probably the first, and sometimes I still struggle with this, but there's so many times where I would just let my customers dictate every ounce of my day, every second of my day. If I was in the middle of something, whether it was church, family, fitness, whatever, I'll drop everything because I'd be like, oh, this customer, what if they have a question? And what if just because I didn't pick up right now, they cancel their solar and I lose out on that? Well, guess what? They're not going to cancel because you didn't pick up their call right away. And if they do, then they probably would have canceled whether you picked up or not. Okay, so start to think of that. What are your big rocks? And are you someone that's planning? Are you planning out the most important things? And are you dictating your time, not other people? So that's step 1. have a weekly planning session and you dictate your time, not the other way around. The second thing is really studying being conscious of your time. And that's just like anything. Hopefully at this point in your solar career, you are measuring your key performance indicators, your KPIs. Prime example right there. Got messages coming in, group chats coming in, but I'm not going to let them dictate my time. Hey, and so the second thing is, are you being conscious of your time? Do you even know where you're spending your time and attention? And if you're like me, the answer is probably no. If you haven't actually sat down and done an audit of your time, it's going to be very tough to be able to improve it, to be able to manage it, to be able to control it, right? Just like we tell our new guys all the time, it's tough to improve in solar if you don't know what your ratios are. How many doors are you knocking? How many conversations are you having? How many appointments are you setting out of those? If you don't know your numbers, very difficult to make improvements because you don't know what to improve, right? Is it an appointment issue? Is it a work ethic issue? Is it not talking to enough homeowners? So in that same way, it's important that we know where's our time being spent. And the best way to do this is to do an audit on your time. I've had a few episodes on this, but it's as simple as going and breaking your day into 15-minute increments and just writing, what did you do with those 15 minutes? Okay, were you sitting on the toilets? Were you on social media? Were you having conversations with someone? If you do that, you will start to see pretty quick, maybe this was a good use of my time or this was not, especially if you break it down to the ridiculousness of 15 minutes. If you do that for 3 days, promise you're going to see some pretty big things you could probably change that you didn't even realize. Right? I know I had some big breakthroughs when I first did that time audit. So go do a time audit. And then the book that I recommend to everyone for this is a book called Buy Back Your Time. He also has a podcast, but he talks about this whole thing in depth as far as studying your time and really just making an audit of it. And speaking of that, the third point of the episode is to look for ways, how can you buy back your time? Hey, so go check out that book if you want to get even deeper in this. But buying back your time, what are things you're doing that you can buy back? What are some things that you can pay other people to do? What maybe you're doing work that's a $10 an hour job, right? Do you think you can get someone else to do that? Okay, so this is one of my favorite things is just outsourcing, looking for ways that you can delegate your tasks so you can focus on the big rocks, the high level activities. So the keys with that is just write down every task you do throughout the day, and then you can assign a dollar value to it, assign a value to it, $1, $2, $3, right? And then from there, you can look for ways to buy it back. Could you outsource that to someone? And the top 2 recommendations I give, especially for solar people, if you're a company owner, depending on what role you have, could be a little bit different, but the top 2 ones I recommend are having an account manager. Okay, someone that's going in and just looking through all your accounts, helping you manage them, helping you do the mundane tasks so you can focus more on selling, more on prospecting, right? So get yourself an account manager. And second most important, or maybe first most important, especially if you have a family, get someone to come do your laundry. Okay, get someone to come clean. We have someone that comes twice a week. This was a game changer for us, for myself and my wife, just someone that comes and does the laundry. With 3 kids, we're spending hours and hours and hours every week. My weekends were taken over. Felt like I was just drowning because I was working, I was coming back, and practically to a point of depression because it was just work and then housework, work and then laundry, chores. Especially on the weekends, it's like I wanted to do something to recharge, but I didn't have time. And I think the biggest breakthrough for us came, my wife, she actually got sick and she was having she later got diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, which is like a chronic stomach issue, pretty gnarly, stomach pains, poop and blood, all that crazy stuff. And she had this issue going on. We didn't know what it was. She's pregnant with her 3rd kid and it made her like bedridden. She couldn't do anything. And I was starting to resent things because I was like working, came home and she was in bed, and it just caused a lot of stress for us. Couldn't do anything. And the only thing that saved us during that time is we started delegating some tasks, and that's how I was able to get through it. And, we prayed for her. She finally got into a hospital. It's a long story, but she had a bad doctor that didn't properly diagnose her, wouldn't connect her with like a GI doctor to figure out what was going on. So it was a rough time, but our saving grace during that time was having someone to help us with the cleaning, with the laundry, things like that, because I was drowning, and that was about the point of like a breakdown for us. So hopefully for you listening, hopefully it doesn't get that bad, right? But how much more time could you have to focus on money-making activities if you did not have to do laundry? Maybe for you it's cooking, maybe for you it's cleaning. But I'm sure there's tasks that you do that's, number one, you hate doing, number two, you're not good at, and number three, you just shouldn't be doing because they're such low value activities. So start to ask yourself, do I like this task? Number two, is it worth my time? Could it be delegated? And number three, is it high value? Is it actually worth my time? There's a very low value task. And depending on what you answer, you're probably going to find out pretty quick. There's some things I could delegate. And then it's a separate podcast on the how. Okay, I mean, just the short answer, you can find these people online. You can find account managers online. There's virtual assistants. It's been a topic we've talked about before. You can go as simple as ZipRecruiter, Indeed. You can post ads for people that will come do your laundry. And, you can hit me up. There's scripts you can put on there. There's job descriptions. But the biggest way I would recommend starting out with this stuff is just look for referrals. If you've been in solar for a little bit, maybe you have a rep that's producing lower volume, needs some extra cash. They know the solar game. They know how to manage accounts. Could you pay that person to manage your accounts and shoot them some extra cash while they're getting back on their feet? Okay, something simple like that. And maybe you're part of like a church group. Maybe you have people that you know in your community that could use some cash. You want to make sure they're quality people. But for us, it was pretty easy to just go to our church congregation and ask for references. Hey, do you know anyone that's good with kids and cleaning, laundry, stuff like that we could hire? We found someone within days that could use the money and that was awesome at doing stuff like that. Okay. So hopefully this gives you some insight on how to better use your time, how to better manage this precious resource. That's the one thing we can't get back. Hey, if you are interested in topics like this, please shoot me a message. I know it's a little bit, a little bit different than a lot of other topics we talk about on the show, but these things are important. And I believe it's the little things like this that can sometimes make the biggest difference more than any other sales technique we talk about. Because if you can have an extra 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a week just because you bought back some time, how many extra deals could that get you? Think about it. So I hope this helps someone out there today. Go shoot this to someone who is overwhelmed, who's drowning, who doesn't have enough time during the day. Would love to hear if this helps somebody out there. And please keep the podcast recommendations, the topics coming. Please keep the guest recommendations coming. We've got some absolute fire guests we've had the opportunity of doing 2 insanely good podcasts today. Next episode, we're going to have one of my dear friends, Jeremy Rose, on the podcast. He's with the RSA, Residential Solar Association. He is, I believe, someone on their board that's kind of bridging the gap between regulations and sales. And he goes over some super interesting topics on just how we can bridge that gap, how we can be, more involved in kind of like the regulatory side of solar and do things the right way. So it makes our jobs easier so we can keep making really good money and keep solar sustainable. So make sure you tune into that episode and we'll see you guys on the next podcast.